Today we celebrate the 100th anniversary of Ledbetter Christian Church. This church came into being when several ladies were inspired by revival being held in Ledbetter School. The Reverend R.D. Harding from Dayton, Kentucky was visiting relatives and conducting revivals in the community in August 1915. Sunday school was being taught in the school, but these ladies felt the need for a proper church. So Thomas J. Arvin and his wife donated land upon which to build a church, but nothing was done until the spring of 1916. From a letter dated April 27, 1916, we learned that a modest frame church was to be built, not exceeding $1,200, that all the rough lumber was on the ground and paid for, that the foundation had been laid and the seals were in place. Money was raised, construction was completed, and a dedication was held in October 1916. We do not know who was in charge of the construction, but many of the men in the neighborhood helped, some being paid 10 cents an hour. We know the pews and pulpit cost $387, and the original organ cost $85. There were 12 charter members who have already been named. Mr. Hudson was the only male charter member, and he was also a veteran of World War I. A business meeting was held in 1917, and the Reverend D.M. Austin was called as the first pastor, preaching one Sunday a month, being paid $5. He served until his death in 1931. His son Miles served from 1931 to 1941. The community Sunday school, which was being taught in the school building, had been discontinued around 1922, but was reorganized in 1926 and continues to this day. At a homecoming in 1936, it was noted that the church was enjoying a Sunday school attendance of 40 and was debt-free. Preaching was held once a month, with the preacher rotating between several churches. After the United States entered World War II in December 1941, 21 young men from this church joined the armed services. A service flag was made by Mrs. Waverly Gaulding, with the blue star for each of these men, with the gold star being added for Private Curry Johns, who was killed on the Anzio beachhead in Italy on March 28, 1944. We wanted to display this flag at our homecoming in 1984, but because of its age and condition could not. So Martha Hammock made a new flag honoring not only these 21 men, but all members who have served in some branch of service. It was presented at our 75th anniversary and hangs in our library. As stated, Private Johns was the only one killed. Charles Arvin received 2 Purple Hearts, and Glenn Donovan was a prisoner of war. Our building remained as originally built until 1957, when an addition was made with 4 Sunday school rooms and 2 restrooms on the main floor, and kitchen and fellowship hall in the basement. From a newsletter put out by Reverend Rhodes, we learned that on December 22, 1957, the Sunday school attendance was 65. A bank loan was needed at this time, and many activities took place to raise funds to repay this loan. A small donation was received from First Lady Mamie Eisenhower. The loan was repaid in November 1958, and a note-burning ceremony and dedication of the addition was held on February 1, 1959. Our kitchen and fellowship hall were enlarged in 1974, with extra space on the main level, which we now use for storage. The addition which made the most change to our building is the porch and steeple, which were added in 1982. Jimmy Elsasser was the builder, and Beth Hurt donated the steeple in memory of her husband, Clarence Hurt. Our cemetery started with the first graves being in the space beside the church building. In 1947, Spalding Lumber Company donated land so we could enlarge the cemetery, and in 1965, This land was surveyed and laid off in lots with permanent lot markers. Another addition to our lands was in 1982 when the heirs of T.J. Alvin Sr. conveyed the schoolhouse lot to us. A number of our members had attended school here, but after the school closed, the building was not used. Because of its condition, it was decided in 1984 to have the building removed to enlarge our parking lot. And not knowing what might go on the property in front of the church when it was for sale in 1997, the board voted to purchase the 6-acre lot directly in front of our building. Several churches in the district were built on the same basic plan as Ledbetter. While some have changed their interiors, we have chosen to keep our sanctuary as originally built. The pews are original, as are our chandeliers. Our heat was provided by a wood stove in the middle, and if you look up, you will see where the pipe went through the ceiling. When electricity was installed many years ago, we retained our chandeliers, which were originally oil burning and could be lowered. One of the original lamps is in our library. The wood stove was replaced with the furnace, which was located in the room beside the choir. What you may not know is that the picture of Christ covers the opening for the furnace. The picture was donated by Beth and Clarence Hurt in memory of her parents. A furnace room and new heating system was installed when the additions were made. We have made many improvements for comfort, a sound system, ceiling fans and recessed lighting, pew cushions and carpet, which has just been replaced, and air conditioning. Before that, we raised the windows and used the little cardboard fans, which I'm sure you remember. The building is handicap accessible with a ramp and a chairlift to the basement. Vinyl siding has been added, and we have just had the roof replaced, so it won't have to be painted every few years. A new well was donated by Irvin's Well Drilling Company. The most striking addition to the interior is the stained glass window, which was installed in 1984 and donated by the Donovan children in memory of their parents, LSC and Lena Donovan. In 1994, Mrs. Connie Snyder gave our sign front and new hymnals in memory of her mother, who was a charter member. Shirley recently donated Bibles in memory of her husband, Harvey. In 1956, the Ledbetter Christian Fellowship was organized and met each fourth Sunday with a business meeting and short program. Through this fellowship, we contributed to many causes, such as the Salvation Army, Operation Santa Claus at Piedmont Geriatric Hospital, and when Liberty Christian Church burned on Easter Sunday in 1985, we took up a special offering of over $1,000 to help with their rebuilding. Through this program, permanent markers were placed on some graves. The fellowship program was discontinued in 1999, but we still support many worthwhile causes through our Sunday school. Our 20th anniversary was celebrated in 1936 with an all-day service. Our 40th in 1956 with lunch on the grounds. In 1984, we had a homecoming and dedication of the additions and windows with the Singspiration in history. Then all year long in 1986, we celebrated our 70th anniversary with a birthday party in May, our ice cream party in July, and homecoming in October with a morning and afternoon service with message by Reverend McIntosh and special solo by Carl Franz. This was followed by a 3-day revival held by Reverend McIntosh. In October 1991, we celebrated our 75th anniversary with Sunday school and regular worship in the morning with Carl Franz, our interim minister. Following lunch, we had a presentation of the new service flag, the charter's member plaque, a memorial service by Dr. Donovan, and an update of our history. In September 1999, we had a special service of tribute to charter members, conducted by Dr. Wallace with a short history and recognition of the families of the charter members. As stated before, there were 12 charter members, and they were Eva Arvin, Iris Arvin, Ava Arvin, Lizzie Arvin, Louise H. Arvin, Mabel Arvin, Lena Galvin, Lizzie Galvin, Fanny Johns, Nanny Johns, Mary B. Perkinson, and the only male, Fitzhugh Hudson. For our 90th anniversary in October 2006, instead of Sunday school, we had a special service with solos by Ronnie and Betty Lee, a summary of our history, and a memorial service for our deceased members. This was followed by a regular worship by Dr. Wallace and luncheon. We had things from our past on display in the library. We have had many happy times with weddings, bridal showers, baby showers, and baby dedications, and receptions for many of our couples who have celebrated 50 or more years of marriage. We recognize the birthdays and anniversaries of our members each month. So if you have a special day this month, check out the mailbox, which was made by Jim Edwards. Christmas is always very special. I remember as a child the cedar tree, which in my child's eyes seemed to reach the ceiling, and Santa Claus in his red suit. Back then, we drew names in each class so everyone received a gift. Each child had a Bible verse to memorize for the program, and there were always apples and oranges in a goodie bag with some nuts and Christmas candy. Now our Christmas is quite different. We tell the story of Jesus' birth with Mary and Joseph, the shepherds and wise men, and special Christmas music by the choir. We have wreaths and candles in the windows. Instead of a cedar tree, we have a pre-lit tree donated by Steve, covered with Christmas handmade by Shirley and Martha. We have a traditional Christmas tree in the basement and have our meal after the program. We don't draw names, but we still have the goodie bags. For years, Beth Kirk, who taught many of us, gave each one in her class a pocket-sized New Testament. I still have mine, with my name and hers in the front, dated December 25th, 1941. I'm sure we all have our special members of Ledbetter. I remember the all-day preaching and then on the grounds. Each family brought a box of food, which was put together on tables made with boards between the trees. There would be a big block of ice from the ice house for the drinks, and everyone ate picnic style on the ground. I remember the week-long revivals and baptizing in the creek at Double Bridges. Charles Arvin was baptized in the creek when he joined in September 1934. Charles is our oldest member in age and in length of membership. When I and two of my brothers, my sister, Tennyson Passmore, Derwood Bruce, and Catherine Amos, joined in October 1943, it was too cold for the creek, so we were baptized in Victory Christian Church. Tennyson and I are the only two left. When Ezra Dunlap returned from service, he entered college and was ordained into the Christian ministry here at Ledbetter in May 1950. He served a number of churches before returning to Cambridge in November 1978. He then served Cambridge and Ledbetter until December 1990. For a number of years, we have shared a minister with Victoria or Cambridge, having preaching once a month. With Ezra, we have services twice a month on first and third Sundays. It was not until Will Wallace came in early 1999 that we had preaching each Sunday. It was during the time Carl France served that we started third Sunday lunch. Carl held a number of revivals here, starting when he was still a student. One was in October 1954, when Hurricane Hazel came through and removed part of our roof. He later said that he had to wait for the trees to be removed from the roads before he could get here. He then laid his mopping up water, and the revival went on as planned. He would later serve us from January 1991 to May of 1996. I mentioned Will Wallace. What can we say about Will? I do know that if he were here today, at this point he would stand up and say, "Let us pray." I guess everyone in Lunenburg County knew of the Wallace twins, Will and Wiley. What you may not know is that our second minister, Miles Austin, was a mentor to Will and Wiley, taking them with him to his various churches to play and sing, and when they were older, to preach. After they returned from service in the Navy, they both became ministers, Wiley a Baptist and Will a Disciples minister. He served churches in North Carolina and Kentucky before coming to 7th Street Christian Church in Richmond. In early 1999, Mr. McCoy, who was serving us at the time and was retiring, knew Will was resigning from 7th Street and suggested Charles get in touch with Will, since Will was returning to Lunenburg where he was building a home. Will came and met with the board. We liked him, he liked us, and he began as our first full-time minister on March 1st, 1999. He took part in all the church activities, sang with the choir, visited the sick and shut-ins, and Gail was also active, and whenever the girls came, we had special music for worship service. We settled into a happy relationship with Will, I think believing he would always be with us, but it was not to be. The day after Thanksgiving in 2008, Will was taken to the hospital where it was found he had brain cancer. He passed away on December 18th. Since Will's death, we have had several ministers to serve for short periods of time. Kenny has now been with us since April 2012. He and Pam make a good team, with Pam usually having the children's message, which was started by Greg Ott. We are fortunate to have them both serve in our church, and Pam has just recently been on a mission trip to Haiti. So we come to the close of 100 years. We have seen changes, lost loved ones, and welcomed new, had happy times and sad. I like to think that Ledbetter has made a difference in the community and in the lives of all who have passed through these doors. What will the future hold? We cannot say, but I believe there will be a great void in the community without Ledbetter. I hope that whoever gives this history will be able to say that we are still caring for our neighbors, friends, and family, and doing what we can to help others in their time of need, just as we have been doing for the past 100 years.